Prince Harry and Meghan are already in panic because the Invictus Games could be cancelled and there won't be any platform left for them anymore.
You mentioned the Invictus Games, and there are reports now that the Invictus Games could get cancelled despite the royal's best efforts to raise support and money for the event during his visit to the UK.
The Invictus Games were created to give wounded veterans a platform to showcase their strength and resilience after sacrificing everything for their countries. Harry has always been very vocal about how deeply he cares about the Games and the veterans it serves. He says it is one of the most important parts of his life. He says the veterans are close to his heart. He says a lot of things, but words are cheap because if you ask the veterans themselves, many are furious, and I understand why. Because you tell me, how exactly does Meghan Markle marching in front of wounded veterans in a designer outfit help a soldier who lost his legs in Afghanistan? Actions speak louder than words. And the veterans have been watching very closely.
A world exclusive. This is huge news about Prince Harry and Invictus. His games could get cancelled.
Now, this is seismic. This is the biggest royal story of the year. This is an unmitigated disaster.
Sponsors noticed this and made the difficult decision to start pulling out, which may be one of the reasons the Invictus Games could eventually be cancelled. This is very unfortunate for Harry because the Games are closely tied to his public image, and losing them at this moment would create a huge problem for him, especially when he is already under so much pressure.
Prince Harry has just got dumped. Again, losing another Invictus sponsor in a shocking scandal.
Still talking about the sponsors, many of them are no longer ready to sponsor the Games this year because of the controversy surrounding the Vancouver Games. Meghan Markle turned the event into her own stage, to the extent that Tom Bower even nicknamed it Meghan's Games. The spotlight was mostly on Meghan, while the veterans who had traveled from different parts of the world were left in the background. Everything seemed to revolve around Meghan Markle.
Bauer suggests that the 2025 Games in Canada were overshadowed by Meghan Markle's public appearances, referring to the event as the Meghan Games.
So when top sponsors like Boeing saw this, they withdrew their sponsorship. And Boeing wasn't the only sponsor they lost. They also lost other multinational sponsors who were willing to invest millions of dollars into the Games, but because of all the controversy, they decided to walk away. Now, replacing those sponsors has become extremely difficult.
Apparently, Boeing, which has been a major sponsor of the Invictus Games in Canada, has pulled out. And they're not going to be sponsoring the next event here in the UK in Birmingham next year in 2027.
They thought the full amount would be released immediately. But when the organizers asked why the money had been underwritten, they were told that they would only receive the full funding if they secured enough private sponsorship first. So, out of the £26 million that had been promised, only about £3 million have reportedly been released so far. That amount hardly scratches the surface, because the organizers still need a substantial amount before the Games can go ahead as planned. But the question everyone is asking is, where will all this money come from when sponsors are already pulling out?
The UK have pledged, they've underwritten 26 million quid for next year's Birmingham Games, but they will only release that money if Invictus raise enough money for the Games to go ahead. So currently, the UK government has given them approximately 3 million quid of that underwritten 26, which means Invictus have got to raise a lot of money between now and next year for the Games to go ahead in its entirety. And it doesn't seem like it's doing too well.
And I am just going to say what many people are thinking. The sponsors did not abandon the Invictus Games because they stopped caring about wounded veterans. They left because of who is running it. They don't have a problem with the Invictus or the veterans, but the same thing cannot be said about Harry. Personally, I believe the Games would be completely transformed the moment Harry steps away from it.
If Harry ceases to be involved in the Invictus Games, all the sponsors will be back. Just imagine if Sir David Beckham was the head of the Invictus.
Oh, wow.
It'll be bigger than the World Cup. Right? Boeing, they will literally, and Airbus. All of those guys will be back.
Give it to someone the corporate world actually respects. Someone without a collapsing lifestyle brand, a $67 million legal bill, and a wife who treats it like a personal photo shoot, and I guarantee those sponsors come running back. Harry holding on to the Invictus Games is not protecting his legacy. At this point, it is the only thing destroying it.
What about the amazing Mike Tyndall? If he was the head of Invictus, bang, they are back. There's so many people that could do it.
Yeah. And Tom Brady owns Birmingham City Football Club as well. They could get him involved. He could donate a few million. He's got enough.
Brady would be a triumph. I mean,
Yeah.
almost anybody would be better than those two.
Yeah.
Then, to make matters even worse, the Australian government, which had previously planned to provide financial support for the Games, has reportedly pulled out. They are no longer willing to sponsor the event the way they once did. They don't want to invest in a competition where the attention shifts away from the veterans and is directed toward Meghan, who isn't even playing a major role in the Games. So if things don't change quickly, the Invictus Games could face cancellation.
The Invictus Games has suffered its greatest blow yet, and that is a decision by Australia to remove all funding from their team. This is huge. This is massive.
Now, if the Games do get canceled, what would Harry do? At the moment, he has stepped away from royal duties. He may still be a prince by blood, but he is no longer a working royal. So right now, the only place where he still has public relevance is through the Invictus Games, and now the Games are on the verge of cancellation. His speaking engagements, which could have been another source of income, have declined. Other charitable projects have also run into problems. Instability, the charity he co-founded in Africa, is facing its own controversy, and Harry is no longer involved in running it. So for now, Harry is Invictus, and Invictus is Harry. If Harry loses Invictus, it would be a massive blow to his public image.
So there's no money. There's no, all the other charities were a disaster. Invictus is Harry. Harry is Invictus.
Yeah.
And you're telling me it could be cancelled.
But Harry was still hoping there would be one last lifeline because he believed Netflix would come to the rescue. However, Netflix appears to be distancing itself from the Invictus Games. Despite producing Heart of Invictus and already having a relationship with Harry and Meghan, when the opportunity came to sponsor the Games, Netflix stayed away. The last time they partnered with the couple, they reportedly lost a lot of money and are still trying to recover from that investment. They are not willing to take another financial risk. Netflix could help if it wanted to, but at the moment it appears unwilling to do so.
Netflix have got money. Netflix could easily, if they're such good friends with the Sussexes, they could say, all right, here's 10 million.
Yeah.
We're not going to see that money again, but it's for a good cause. And they did produce the Heart of Invictus TV series they done a few years ago.
Yeah.
They could easily do 10 mil, but even Netflix aren't wanting to get involved in it.
You're so right. It could easily be a nice headline for them. Netflix save Invictus.
Yeah.
And they could cover themselves in glory. And it's damning that they shouldn't step in.
After facing rejection from everywhere, Harry's last hope was his celebrity friends, but they are not ready to help him either. Tyler Perry, who supported Harry and Meghan by giving them a place to stay after they left the royal family, isn't stepping in this time. Oprah Winfrey, who gave them the interview where they made so many allegations against the royal family, is nowhere to be found.
I mean, they've lost all of their key backers. They've lost the fellow celebrities. Mm-hmm. So Oprah, Sir Elton, Gwyneth, the Clooneys, the Obamas. It's my understanding that Harry is particularly heartbroken that George Clooney is no longer interested in, having any relationship at all. Mm-hmm. And that George Clooney is all in with William and Charles.
Yeah.
So they've lost the celebrities, they've lost the charity sector, and they're losing the corporate backers too. Big business.
Even Elton John has reportedly refused to assist Harry financially because Harry's legal battle with the Daily Mail publishers ended up costing him millions as well. Whenever the subject of finances comes up now, Elton reportedly wants nothing to do with it. Even when people mention the financial problems facing the Invictus Games, he doesn't seem interested. So at this point, Harry doesn't know where to turn.
I have been told that he actually has asked Elton to give him some money for Invictus. Elton has said no because this court case is such a big deal now. He asked Elton before the judge came down with the ruling, but Elton kind of saw where the wind was blowing, and he was like,
And people are now asking a very uncomfortable question. Similar veteran sporting events run on a fraction of the Invictus budget. So where is all the money actually going? Because grants to veterans dropped while executive salaries and legal fees went up in the same year, the veterans are not seeing more support. The organization is just getting more expensive. And that gap is exactly why people are demanding an audit. And Birmingham, which is set to host the event, is also facing financial challenges of its own. The city already has enough financial pressure and may not be in the best position to take on the additional costs of hosting the Invictus Games. Because of this, Birmingham may not be the ideal host city compared with London, which has greater financial resources and stronger corporate support. As a result, the organizers may eventually have to scale back the games if funding continues to fall short.
However, the issue is Birmingham is broke, the city that he decided to do it in. It is also a huge Muslim population. And Harry, in his book Spare, kind of bragged about his kill number in Afghanistan. So that's he's not got a lot of fan base in Birmingham.
If the Invictus Games do go ahead as planned, there may have to be some major changes. The event could be shortened, accommodation costs could be reduced, there may be fewer competitions, and the overall size of the games could become much smaller than originally planned. In short, it could be a disaster.
They're going to have to downsize it somehow and maybe move accommodation to somewhere that's less grand, and the events will have to be done in a single day rather than across a 9-day period to save money. But hopefully it goes ahead. But Harry's going to have to hustle hard to get another 20 million from somewhere.
For now, if the games are going to continue, Harry will need to perform what almost looks like a miracle. He needs to secure millions of pounds in sponsorship, but the sponsors he is looking for simply aren't coming forward. This is giving him many sleepless nights. He is already under financial pressure because of his court case, and now he also has the huge responsibility of trying to keep the Invictus Games alive. At the moment, he seems completely overwhelmed. Even if he somehow manages to keep the games going next year, future editions could face even greater uncertainty unless much stronger financial backing is secured.
Well, what it tells us, if by some miracle they put the show on next year, that'll be the last.
Perhaps indeed. Perhaps indeed.
It's, as I hate to say, it's the usual thing with the Sussex. It always ends in tears.
Yeah.
Everything they do flops.
So what are your thoughts regarding the cancellation of the Invictus Games? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.